A befitting farewell to a consummate soldier and a freedom fighter. Lt General Ramlakan came from humble beginnings but rose to become one of the highest ranked military officers in the country. He entered politics when he was a medical student at the then University of Natal. He led the student movement between 1979 and 1981. His path eventually led him to the ANC's underground structures. He became part of the MK's Operation Butterfly. In 1986, he was jailed on Robben Island.
He was in the struggle for the long haul. He was not driven by greed or self-interest, and he never got consumed by factional tendencies that have ravaged our movement to make it barely recognizable. Leaders need to all be reminded that the ANC is not merely a passport to high office or for self-enrichment, but it was a movement created for all our people as an instrument for liberation from oppression.
To many, Lt General Ramlakan was a doctor and soldier, but to his children, he was their pillar.
I'm going to miss you, Dad. I'm going to wish that I could have introduced you to the people in my future. But I will tell them my stories about you. Thank you, Dad. There's no way to count all the things that you have taught me, but know that your lessons were absorbed and cherished.
Close friends described him as a humble man, yet fearless and principled.
Vijay loved life. He had a lust for life, a lust which had its moments of agony and of ecstasy. He had a streak of cheekiness. At the amnesty hearing, Advocate Morane asked him a simple question. Did Vijay derive financial or material benefits from being involved in the struggle? Simple questions deserve simple answers, but not for Vijay. He replied, no, and then he added, the obvious other question is not asked of me. Did I receive financial disadvantage? That was our Vijay.
Of all his achievements in the Defence Force, most notable was that he was entrusted with the health care of the late former President Nelson Mandela.
Vijay had a very special relationship with Madiba. It was an extraordinary kind of situation. Even though he wasn't, when Tata passed on in 2013, he wasn't the Surgeon General. But when Tata passed on that night, in his house, Vijay was there because throughout he had never left his bedside.
After his retirement in 2015, the SANDF still held him in high regard. The Lieutenant General led a team that documented the history of military health in South Africa. He was also working on documenting each of the 3,000 Robben Island political prisoners. He is survived by his wife Sandy and 3 children. I am Mhlongo, SABC News, Durban.